Okay, so I've made some more progress on the layout. I've done some general grading of some of the foam forms that I put in place. I've also put some supports and glued on the second level here on the back side of the layout. I've installed the tunnel portals on both sides. Now there's still a little bit of filling to do here and there, but everything is more or less in place. I did spray more of the Great Stuff foam underneath the roadway here, which is going up to the second level, as well as underneath some of the areas in here to again provide a real firm, stable support to those areas. I did cut out a big hole here, which will allow me access for putting in the track and the wiring and so forth on the lower level in this section. I haven't decided yet though if I'm going to use this as an access hole and basically have like a removable section on top, or just put a access hole in the back fascia here, which is what I think I'm probably going to do, just to allow me to keep everything here glued down firmly and not have to worry about the top level falling off if I'm transporting the layout and so forth. Anyway, what I want to do today though is do some more grading on the scenery in this area in here, and to do that I'm going to use a Stanley SureFoam tool, which is basically a screen mesh on a plastic handle, and there's it's something like you would have in a kitchen grater essentially, where there's holes cut out here and there's some sharp edges along them, and so when you slide it on foam or wood or whatever else, it does sort of act as a very, very coarse sandpaper. But being metal, it doesn't wear down and get clogged up very easily, so it lasts a long time. And it does make some pretty good fast work of shaping the foam scenery. Now I put the track down on the upper level to give me a guide of where I can shave down things and where I can't. And since I don't want to do that while the track's in place, I'm just going to take a Sharpie and pretty much mark out a reasonable boundary around the track section here, and I'll know not to do any type of shaping within the bounds of those two lines there, and this way I'll be sure to have a smooth, flat surface for the track to lay on. So I'll take the track section off and then get to work with the SureFoam tool. And again, it does take a little bit of time, but it does go pretty quickly, as you can see. And the current plan is that what I'm probably going to do is add in some retaining walls on the lower section of this hill here, and then there may be this sort of a rocky surface above that. But I do want to have a large structure in this area, so I didn't want to have a hill that would gradually slope down. And so I'm trying to create a fairly steep, rocky sort of retaining wall cliff face here that won't take up too much room. Now some areas in here I'll have to go back and fill in with some foam, or I'll probably use some lightweight spackle and then come back and sand them later. Although if I do add some rock casting, which I probably will here in some of these sections, that won't be a real big issue. I do have to go through here and fill in this area here. I guess I'll go ahead and do that now. I am just using a lightweight spackle for that. And so I'm just going to kind of build this up in layers and go from there. But I'm going to try to fill in this void over here the best I can. And at this point, again, I'm just trying to basically fill in gaps and voids, and it's not really to the point where I'm trying to produce a finished surface. And what's really important is when you're doing this type of sanding, especially on the foam layers, is that they are completely and totally cured, at least really close to it, before you try to do that. If you use adhesive and attach these boards together and then come back the next day, 12 hours later or something like that, and try to sand it with one of these Surfoam tools, you're most likely going to end up separating all the layers, because what happens is you get good adhesion and drying of the adhesive along the exterior edges, but everything in the middle stays wet for a very long time because these boards are pretty airtight. Again, they are insulation boards, and so they aren't designed to allow for good airflow through them, since they're trying to trap air. And so the glue that is essentially away from the edges of the boards and is in here in the middle can stay uncured for a very long time, many days, even weeks. And so you do want to wait as long as you can. In this case, I've been waiting about 3 to 4 days from gluing everything in place to when I started doing all the shaping with the Surfoam tool, and that's worked out fine. Everything is very solid at this point. You could probably do it with less of a weight and be okay, but the problem is if it does end up shearing off while you're sanding it, it's kind of a real pain to go back and apply more adhesive, and I have to wait again a couple more days for everything to dry before you go on. And so it's just a lot easier to just wait a little bit longer the first time and not have to come back a second time and wait again before you're able to progress and and make some progress on your work. That's all for now, and I'll have another update once I've done some more work on finishing up some of this base scenery level, so forth, and have an update at that time. So thanks for watching. Bye.